there, folks. How's everybody doing? Here we are replaying Game 14 of Bartolo Colon's 2015 season when the Mets made it all the way to the World Series. And we're going to start off with the Rogers Center. It's going to be R.A. Dickey versus Bartolo Colon. And right now, as it stands, Bartolo with about a 2.50 ERA. And he's 3 wins and 6 losses. He ended that season 14-13. I'm sorry, my cat's driving me mad. Okay, so I'm gonna try to get this a little bit. Oh, there it is. Okay, great. Let me bring this a little bit closer here. I'm experimenting a little bit, so we can see what's going on a little bit better. There we go. Now that's gonna force me to roll on top of the cards, which I'm not too crazy about. So I'm gonna push back just a little bit. Oh. All right, I hope you can see better there. Okay, so let's get started. We're gonna roll pretty quick. We're playing payoff pitch. I'm getting much better at it, and it's moving a lot faster. And that's a 5. That's in play. R.A. Dickey in play. A 61. 61 in play is going to be an out to fly ball to left field. And in left field for the Blue Jays is Chris Colabello. I don't know if you remember him. I just don't know if he's still in playing ball. I'm not sure about that. I remember him from 2015. I just don't remember him recently. And that's a 6. That's tough. A tough 72 takes us to the out range, and that's a ground ball to second base. Goins to Smoke. 4-3. 2 away now. And it's Michael Kadire. Now over on my right, I have a 10-inch iPad that I'm keeping score with iScore. And I just click on, I'm sorry, wait, it's Duda. Duda's up. So that was Lagares. Duda, there he is. I don't know if I put these in order. Duda, Kadire, Darno's in here somewhere. Back in the lineup. Yeah, I think he was injured for a while. Haven't seen him in a while. I'm using the actual lineups. Mayberry, and then Tejada, and then there's no pitcher hitting card. I put them in there by accident because we have a DH. The DH today is Kadire. Okay, so Lucas Duda, lefty, and we're not showing the dice roll. That's a problem. Let's move these up a little bit to have a little bit extra space for the dice. Okay, so it's a 15. I'm sorry, it's a 5. So we look under 5. It's in play, and it's a 15 in play. And that's going to be a single. I'm going to use the fast action card to tell us runners advance 1 base. Oh, there's nobody on base, so that's just a 2-out single. There you go. All right. So Lucas Duda is on first base, and we're going to click on his name. For example, Lucas Duda, and it'll tell us that he is batting .326. He's 16 for 43 on the season. And the next batter is Michael Kadire. We click on his name, and it will tell us that Kadire is batting .214. He has 9 hits and 42 at bats. Okay, so Kadire the batter, pitch from Dickey, and it's a 6. It's a tough pitch, an 84, a tough 84 takes us to the out range, and that's going to be a ground ball hit at the shortstop, who flips to the second baseman Goings for the 3rd out. That's half an inning of play. We're in the Rogers Center in Toronto. And that's a 10. That's tough on Bartolo's card. Move that out of the way. And a tough 60. A tough 60 takes us into the out range. Fly ball to the right field. Curtis Granderson is there. So Jose Reyes, an ex-Met, he actually won a batting title with the Mets. He became a free agent a little bit, I think in 2012, I believe, or 2013, and he went over to Toronto. Had a couple of good seasons with Toronto, but his skills have deteriorated. He's 35 or 36 now. I think he was released by the Mets, played the last couple of seasons again with the Mets. Josh Donaldson, the bat at third baseman for Toronto, that's an 8. That's ballpark, a 56. Ballpark 56 is, oh, right outside the wheelhouse range, which is a good thing for them for Cologne. We are in the in-play area, and that's a 95. We pull a fast action card number. 95 is an out. It's going to be a fly ball to left. Jose Bautista, one of my favorite players. Not what he once was, of course. Everybody gets older. Ballpark 05. So Ballpark 05 is going to be in the wheelhouse, and Batista's wheelhouse is 1/74. And that's an 88. My goodness. An 88 takes us into, he gets on top of the ball, hits a grounder into the dirt to Wilmer Flores. It's short. Wilmer at first. 3 up, 3 down. Go to the top of the second, no score. Travis d'Arnaud is leading it off. Travis d'Arnaud hasn't been around for a while. I remember him in the first month of the season. Haven't seen him since. So he's been out for a couple of months. And that's a 2. That's a ballpark 84 on a right-handed batter. He's going to take us into the in-play area. And up to 31 is going to be a hit. That's a 71, so that's going to be an out. And that's a fly ball to center. 1 away now. Wilmer Flores. And that's an 8, patient. And a 64, patient, 64. Again, outrange ground ball, second base, Ryan Goins. Over to Smoke. 2 down. John Mayberry. John Mayberry is a 7. That's a tough 25. Tough 25 is a strikeout. Mayberry goes down swinging. Go to the bottom of the second. Blue Jays are bringing up Smoke, Colabello, and Russell Martin. And that's a 4. That's a patient 71. A patient 71 is going to be in the out range, and that's a ground ball to Dilson Herrera at second. 1 away. Josh Donaldson. That's a 4. That's patient 65. A patient 65 outside of his patient range, and that's going to be a fly. That's a popped up, and it looks like the third baseman. No, to first. I'm sorry. Popped up to the right side. First baseman is going to call for that. Now I'm using a modifier here. So I kind of stumbled through it a little bit. All right, I have Russell Martin now. Wait a second. I have Chris. That should have been. Wait a second. I'm out of order. I don't know why I'm out of order. Hold on a second. I'm out of order here. So Colabello is out. Now it should be Russell Martin, the batter. All right. 3. That's tough. A tough 40. Tough 40 is a strikeout. Martin down on strikes. And it's Mets are up now. All right, I got to get this cat out. Get out. All right, it's gonna be Ruben Tejada leading it off against R.A. Dickey. Ruben Tejada in the top of the third. And that's a 5. That's in play 0-3. In play 0-3 is a ball that's hit into the gap, and that's going to roll to the wall. Pilar, after it quickly gets in the throw to second. Tejada's safe under the tag. It's a double for Tejada. So Tejada on its second. And it's Granderson, a 3, a wheelhouse 31, and that's going to be a deep drive. And Pilar going back to the track, to the wall. He looks up, and it's out of here. 2-run, home run. Again, that's the wrong batter. That it should be Dilson Herrera. Okay, so that's a totally different story. It's a 3. It's a wheelhouse, a 31, and a 31 in wheelhouse is going to be a ball that's hit off the wall in left center field. Colabello gets the ball in. It's going to be an RBI double for Herrera. Not as exciting as the home run, but still gets the job done, gets an RBI. Run scored for the Mets. They lead at 1-0. Curtis Granderson, I'm going to keep an eye on the batting orders. 10, patient, a 13. A patient 13 is a base on balls. Juan Lagares now. Lagares is 0 for 1. And that's an 8. That's patient. A 0-0. That's going to be an unusual or rare play. With a runner on base, we're using this number right here, an 11. And with a runner re-roll 2d6 higher than the pitcher's hold rating, a balk is called. So we're going to pull another card. If it's higher, no, it's not. It's 4. So 11. If it's higher, balk is called. Otherwise, runner is picked off. But there's a runner on first and second, so this is not gonna happen at this point. Yeah, so he's not taking a very big lead since he has to wait for Dilson Herrera at second. So I don't think he's gonna get picked off here. So we're gonna just ignore that result. Re-roll. And 3. It's wheelhouse, and it's a wheelhouse 89. And that's going to be in the out range. It's going to be a ground ball to, and that's going to be a double play. I don't even have to look. It's the roll. The 2d6 roll is so low. Double play 8 for Dickey, and it's 6 for Lagares. So that's going to be a 6-4-3 double play. Ground out, 6-4-3 double play. Now that runner, one runner advances to third, but the runner at second is out on a double play. Lucas Duda now with a runner on third and 2 outs. And that's a 12. That's a ballpark. And a 23, a ballpark 23 is going to be a wheelhouse. Wheelhouse for Lucas Duda. And it's 1-35 is going to be a shot out of here. And it's a 63. A 63 is a ground ball to short. And that's the third out. So the Mets had opportunities, but kind of squandered those. And it's going to be Ezequiel Cabrera. It's 1-0 Mets here in the bottom of the third. And that's a 6. That's going to be in play on Bartolo's card. A 40. In play 40 is out of the in play range and into the out range. And that's going to be a pop-up to the left side. Tejada is playing third today for the Mets. Now, Ruben Tejada is the player that Chase Utley ran into. That was the catalyst of the rule change of, you have to slide into the bag. You can't go beyond the bag. You can't go out of the baseline with your slide, so on and so forth. Kevin Pillar, 1 out. 6 in play, and in play 18. It's going to be a single base hit. So Pillar on with a single. He's a threat to steal. Going to pull a card here. It's a 6. No, it's got to be below his steal number for him to go on the automatic steal. Let me make sure that's correct. Learning to play a lot of this. Auto steal. Yeah, result 2d6 on last card. Top draw on discard pile. 2d6 is equal to or lower than the batter's steal number. He attempts to steal the next base. Okay, so it's Ryan Goins. Kevin Pillar's on at first. There's 1 out. Goins is a left-handed batter. That's going to be a 4 patient, a patient 76. Patient 76 is outside the patient range. It's going to be a fly ball to center field. For out number 2, Lagares runs it down. Got good range out there. There shouldn't be a pitcher batting card there. Jose Reyes is the batter. And that's going to be a 6 in play, 85, in play 85. It's going to be a ground ball to short. Wilmer Flores up with it. And out number 3. We're at the top of the 4th. Game's moving right along. And that's a 7. That's a tough 22. It's going to be a strikeout. So that was Kadire strikes out. Now it's d'Arnaud. It's a 4. That's in play. A 62. In play 62 is a ground ball to second. Goins. He's had plenty of action at second base. Knuckleball is bringing about a lot of grounders. Wilmer Flores is a 10, patient 22, a patient 22, and that's a line drive base hit center field. Frozen rope by Wilmer Flores. John Mayberry, that's an 8, patient. Patient is a 32. A patient 32 is going to be a double, and that's going to score Flores, I believe, if he's a 6 or more runner with 2 outs, and he is. It's going to be an RBI double, and we're going to double check that when we have a score. 32. I'm sorry, it's an 8 is patient off Dickey's card, and then a 32 is going to be a double. It's going to be an RBI double for John Mayberry. And it's Ruben Tejada. Tejada's 1-for-1. He doubled earlier on. 2-0 Mets lead here in the top of the 4th. And that's a 9. That's in play. 40. In play 40. It's going to take it into the out range. That's a comeback. It's Dickey. Dickey up with it. Feels his position. And the Mets come up with one big run there on those 2 hits. They lead it 2-0 after 3.5. It's going to be Josh Donaldson leading it off against Bart Colon. Bart Colon had a little bit of a lead here, but not much. See what happens. The Mets really need to score some runs. Have not been scoring runs for him at all. And that's a 4. That's patient. A patient 24 is going to be a base on balls. Jose Bautista with good power. 12 in play 67. And in play 67 is going to be a ground ball second base. And that's going to allow Donaldson to get to second. It's a high roll at 12. Automatically on a 12 grounder roll, that's going to be a runner advance. Not a fielder's choice or double play. 11 and 12 or automatic. There's other ways to do it in the game, but that's just one of the ways. 7 in play 33, and in play 33 is outside the hit range. That's lined and caught by Dilson Herrera at second base for second out. There's a runner on scoring position here. Let's see, Chris Colabello. Colabello versus righties batted .326 in 242 at bats. That's a 7. That's in play, but it's a 77. So I think Colon lucked out. It's a high number. It's a fly ball to center field. Lagares tracks it down for out number 3. So Dilson Herrera is leading it off for the Mets here in the top of the 5th. The Mets are up 2-0. It's R.A. Dickey. He's a former Met who won the Cy Young with the Mets. I'm interested in replaying that season. 7, tough. Another one I want to replay is Thurman Munson's last 10 games, 20 games, something to that effect. Right before he's killed in that airplane crash in Pennsylvania. That would be a nice kind of memorial to his Major League career. Dilson Herrera, that's a 7 tough and 11. A tough 11 is a strikeout. So Herrera down on strikes. Curtis Granderson, the batter. And that's a 7. That's a tough 20. That's a strikeout. Juan Lagares. Lagares grounded out twice. He's 0 for 2. 12 ballpark. 41 a righty. He's going to put it into the wheelhouse. Going to pull a card for that number. A 10. A wheelhouse 10. Oh. It's 1-7 is a home run, but that's going to be a double. A double for Lagares. And with a runner on second, it's Lucas Duda. And that's a 9. A 9 is in play. 20. In play 20 is a line drive into the alley. Runners advance 2 bases. It's going to be a double for Duda, and we're going to double check that. 9 is in play. 20 is in play. No, it's not a double. It's a single. But with 2 outs, you see that? That's why we double check when there's a score. So it's a 9 in play. It's a 20. Off a righty, a 20 would be a single. And Lagares is an 8 runner, so he's going to score. He's going to score on the single. And the Mets lead it 3-0. Michael Kadire, that's a 4. That's in play 97. In play 97 takes us to a fly ball to left. Colabella right there for out number 3. Go to the bottom of the 5th. It's Cologne versus R.A. Dickey. Now, Cologne and Dickey never played on the same team. I think Dickey's last year with the Mets was 2012. It's the Cy Young year. And it's Russell Martin. That's an 11. Defensive check. This is always exciting. I do it a little bit differently. It's a range shortstop. Then I look at the number I rolled, a 29. I look here that there's actually only one possibility that it's not a hit, and that's if the fielder, the shortstop, is an A range. And I'll tell you right now, Wilmer Flores is no A range shortstop, and he's not. He's a D range, so that's a hit. And through shortstop, that's going to be a single. So Russell Martin on with a single. That's how I run that range. I kind of look at all the numbers and see where the roll ends up being. So Eskiel Cabrera, the left fielder, the right fielder. It's a 2. It's a wheelhouse. A 98 wheelhouse is going to take us into the out range. A fly ball deep right field. Curtis Granderson back to the track. Makes the catch. Kevin Pillar. It's a 7. That's in play 42. In play 42 takes us to the out range, and that's a ground ball to first base. Let's see if they can turn this. They turn it on Pillar's card, and they turn it on Cologne's card. It's a 3-6-3 double play. So it's a 3-6-3 double play, and batter is out at second. Relay in time. And we go to the top of the 6th. So Bartolo has the defense behind him with that double play. Nice double play started by Lucas Duda at first. All right, here's Travis d'Arnaud. That's a 7. That's a tough 79. A tough 79 is a fly ball to center field. Pillar in center. Now Pillar is a Gold Glove type center fielder. And this is Wilmer Flores, a 9, in play 0-4, and that's going to be swung on and driven into the gap, and Pillar is chasing it down. Wilmer Flores goes into second with a double. And it's John Mayberry, who's 1 for 2. He doubled. And that's a 4, in play 4-41. 41 is going to take us, it's going to be a line drive and caught by Jose Reyes. That's short. Two outs now, and Ruben Tejada. And that's a 10. That's Patient, a 0-5. Patient 0-5 is a ball 4. We got 8. Let's look and see. He did 5 innings. That's right there. That's 5 innings times 4 pitches on average per batter. That's 40 pitches right there. That's, wait a second. 5 times 3 is 15. That's 60 pitches, 60 pitches, but he's allowed 8 hits. And that's another 4 pitches, 32. So he's in his 90s. So this is probably going to be R.A. Dickey. Let's see R.A. on first and second. And I look at the actual game, and I look and see that R.A. Dickey completed this game. So I'm going to let him go another batter. And that's a 7. That's tough. 73. Tough 73. And Dickey gets out of the inning with a fly ball to center. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. It's Cologne winning 3-0 against R.A. Dickey. Ryan Goins, the 9th place batter. And that's an 8. That's ballpark. A 12. From the lefty side, it's going to be wheelhouse. Wheelhouse for Goings, it's 1-16 is a home run. It's a 90. Colon gets lucky. It's a ground ball to second base. Dilson Herrera over to Duda. Jose Reyes leading it off. Reyes is 0 for 2. The pitch from Colon defense. Show you how I do that. Error first base. We rolled a 0-1. So if you look, error first base 0-1. There's an error no matter who. In other words, no matter what his error rating is. So that's going to be an error on Duda. Now that could go for a double on the corners. It can go for a double. So we're going to look at this, the following number of 5, and we go over here to this chart, and it's an error. It's an error 5 under the first. No, I was thinking of a hit. I'm sorry. Was it a range or was it an error? It was an error. So now sometimes it could be a 2-base error, but we had what, a 5? I said a 5 is a 1-base error. So Duda drops the ball at first base. And Reyes is on first. Okay. So Josh Donaldson, and that's a 10. That's a tough, a 84, a tough 84. It's going to be a ground ball to shortstop, and that's going to be a fielder's choice. 6-4. Force out at second. Not in time to get Donaldson at first. And Batista now with 2 outs. And that's a 6. That's in play. And in play 21. In play 21 is going to be a blooped into right field. Runner on first advances 2 bases. Single. Hustling over to third is Donaldson. And we have runners on first and third now. And Justin Smoke, Justin Smoke hit 18 home runs. So he has good power. He's a switch hitter. He's a switch hitter, so he's batting from the left side. Do we want him to bat from the left side or the right side? Actually, we prefer him to bat from the left side because he only hit 4 home runs from the left side, and well, that's 1 every 10. In terms of home runs, we're better off him batting from the right side. So if we brought a lefty in right now, still early in the game though. Still only the bottom of the 6th. Colon's got a shutout going. Let's see what happens here. Runners on first and third, 2 outs. That's a 3. That's a tough 27, and that's a strikeout. So Colon bears down and strikes out Smoke, who's swinging for the fences, trying to tie up the game with 1 swing of the bat. Fails to do so, and it's the top of the 7th. R.A. Dickey is still in there. He's going to be facing Granderson, Lagares, and Duda. We are replaying, the score is 3-0 Mets. We are replaying the 2015 Mets World Series year. They get to the World Series, they lose against the Royals. But we're replaying Bartolo Colon's season starts just for the fun of it. I thought he's an interesting character to kind of just remember. And also just going back to 2015, and a lot of these games remind me of what I was doing, where I was, how, what was going on in my life. And it's kind of, I reminisce. All right, so patient is going to be 8 is a patient, and we're 93. Patient 93 is in the out range, and that's going to be a pop up to the right side, and that's Goins is there. I'm using a modifier for those pop-ups. And that's on the, if you go to Sideline Strategy Delphi forum, you'll see the modifiers. 4 in play 38 and in play 38, and that's going to be popped up to the left side now. Donaldson there, and it's Duda, Lucas Duda. He's 2 for 3 on the day. That's a 9. In play 84. In play 84 takes it to the out range. That's going to be a ground ball to second. Goins over to Smoke. 3 up, 3 down. Go to bottom of the 7th. So if Colon, let me see if there's who pitched in this game for the Mets. It was Torres and Verret, or Verret, however you want to say it. So he may get replaced depending on what happens here. He may get pulled even though he's pitching a shutout. That's a 9. That's a tough. A 0-5. That's a strikeout. So Colabello goes down on strikes. Russell Martin, he's 1 for 2. That's a 5. That's a tough, a 71. A tough 71 is a fly ball to center. Lagares chases it, makes a nice running catch. And Ezekiel Cabrera, that's a 7. That's in play, and in play 98. It's going to be a fly ball to right. Granderson, a few steps to his left, makes the catch. 3 up, 3 down for Cologne. Pitching masterfully, has a 3-hitter going. Mike Kadire. It's a 9. That's in play, and in play 72. It's in the out range, and that's going to be a ground ball to second. That's an 8. Patient 82. Patient 82 is a ground ball to short. 2 away. And Wilmer Flores. Wilmer's 2 for 3. An 11 defense. It's range third base. Re-rolled an 11. So anywhere on the range, no matter what the player's range is, it's going to be a hit automatically. It's third base, so this is where you have to look and see if it goes for a double. We're going to use this following card, the top number there, a 4. So we're going to look at hit a 4, third base, and that's going to be a double. So Flores pulls one down the line, and Josh Donaldson doesn't get to it. Rolls into the corner. Colabello retrieves it. The relay to second, and he is safe with a double. So Flores, 2-out double here. John Mayberry, and that's a 5. That's in play, and in play 16, and that's going to be single. Runner scores. RBI single for Mayberry, and that's 4 runs for Dickey. There's 2 outs. We're going to let him go another batter. 6. That's tough. A 19. A tough 19 is a strikeout. So the Mets pick up another run. They lead at 4-0. And we're gonna that'll be the last inning for Dickey, because he's given up 10 hits. That's 40 pitches. He's gone 8 innings, which is how many outs? 24 outs. So he's gone 140 pitches already. Okay, so we let him go a little bit too far. But we're learning that system, right? I'm learning the system of the pitch count system. It's kind of one that I kind of created based on somebody else's, a little bit more complex, I guess is a fair word, which may or may not be. It's up to you how you want to use. I use mine. I'm not really so obsessed with it. I kind of look at it just every so often. But 7 in play 81. So in play 81 for Pilar, it's going to be in the out range. 81 is going to be a ground ball to Wilmer Flores, and he throws out Pilar, out number 1 here in the bottom of the 8th. Going 7, that's in play, a 76. In play 76, it's a fly ball to center. Jose Reyes is 0 for 3, and that's a 10. That's tough, a tough 29, and that's going to be a ball that's pulled down the line, and it goes into right field. Jose Reyes is going to get to second easily with a 2-out double. A 2-out double for, and we're going to get, who's up? Donaldson is up. We're going to get a righty coming in. 4-0 game. We're going to pull Cologne. Logan, let's see if I could find Logan Verrett. Now they offer a lot of cards here. I have some fringe players sitting in here. I kind of cut them to size. Buddy Carlisle, Blevins. I try to use who's on the roster. Let's see if, was that Verrett? No, that was Goodell. Verrett Mayer, there he is. All right, so we're going to bring him. He actually pitched in this game, so he's going to replace Cologne. And so we're going to have to write Verrett and Logan. Logan Verrett, he's a right-hander. He played in 14 games and at a 3.03 ERA, a 1-1 record. He's going to pitch to Donaldson. With a runner on second, 2 outs. That's a 6. That's a tough 44. And on Donaldson's card is going to be a double, an RBI double for Donaldson. That's a pretty good number there. Now Donaldson batted .296 versus righties, so he held his own. He hit 41 home runs that season, 32 versus righties and 9 versus lefties. So that's exactly why we brought in a reliever. Jose Bautista now. Tremendous power. He hit 40 home runs in 2015. He's still in his best years. 4, that's a ballpark 36. A ballpark 36 puts us into the wheelhouse range. His wheelhouse versus righties is 1-74. We're going to pull a card now. 1-74 is a 2-run home run, and the score is 4-3. Right now it stands at 4-1, but if he hits this shot right here, it's going to be 4-3. We're going to have to bring in Familia. And that's a 36. That ball is hit deep to center field. Back goes Lagares to the track, to the wall. It's out of here. 2-run shot by Jose Bautista. 4-3 ball game now here in the bottom of the 8th. And that was a 36, and then we pull the 36 again. It's a right-hander, and that's a 4 ballpark off Logan Verrett, if you will. And it's going to be a switch hitter, Justin Smoke, who's got power, more power from the left side. So we're going to switch him around. We're going to bring in a lefty. And the lefty that the Mets use quite often is Alexander Torres. Alexander Torres gets used a lot, so we're going to bring in Torres. Oh no. Torres is going to come in for Logan Verrett. There's 2 Torres. There's a Carlos Torres and an Alexander Torres. Alexander's the lefty. Carlos is the righty. And these are the ones that the Mets use. Justin Smoke. So he's batting against he's turned around now. He's a switch hitter. So he would be batting righty. Why is he batting lefty against a... that's weird. Oh, wait a second, I know why. Because I don't think I have the pitcher down as a lefty on the data. No. Oh, he's down as a data. It's weird. You would probably want Smoke batting from the right side. That's weird. I never noticed that. Justin Smoke, a switch hitter. It's a lefty. So Justin Smoke would want to turn around and bat as a right-hander. I don't understand that at all. Oh, versus left-handed pitcher. Oh, I see what's going on. Okay, so I'm misreading this whole thing. So against a left-handed pitcher, so we want to bring in a right-handed pitcher. We had a right-handed pitcher in there, so why do we make that change at all? I'm going to undo all those changes by just hitting undo, and we're back to where we were. We're back to where we were. Not going to bring in a lefty. I misread. So we're going to leave Verrett. Actually, we're going to bring in Familia. That's what we're going to do. We're going to try to get a 4-out save. We're going to bring in Juris Familia. He was their closer. Let's give Cologne the best opportunity to win this game. Excuse me. And Justin Smoke batting versus a right-handed pitcher. He still has good power. So we want to avoid a 2. And we did. It's a 9. It's a tough 0-5 is a strikeout. So Smoke down on strikes. Familia does his job. And going to replace Dickey now as well. replace Dickey with somebody who's got a lot of games played. I'm not gonna. Aaron Loop, he's a lefty. You got Dilson Herrera, the pitcher spot. Oh, well, we had to do a double switch there. Oh, actually, there's no pitchers batting. Okay, no problem then. So I'm looking through the teams here to see who pitched a lot of games. 32 games for that's a starter. So I'm looking for 68 games for Roberto Osuna, but he has 20 saves, so he's a closer type. Tempera's 32 games, 30. I'm looking for somebody with like this guy, Liam Hendricks, 50, almost 60 games. So he's around. I know that. So he's going to come in. I'm not because I don't want to look and see who's on the roster right now. But I have a feeling that he was available to pitch pretty often, and I'm going to add him, Liam Hendricks. Oh, okay, we added him, and he is going to be chosen to come in, and he's going to face Dilson Herrera. Dilson Herrera is 1 for 3. Mets have 10 hits in this game. They lead it 4-3, and 9 is tough. A tough 40. A tough 40. It's going to be a strikeout. So one away here in the top of the 9th inning. And it's a 5 patient. A patient 14 is a base on balls for Granderson. So Granderson walks. Juan Lagares. That's a 9. That's a tough. A tough 11 is a strikeout. And it's Lucas Duda. He's 2 for 4. That's a 5. That's patient again. A 22. A patient 22 is ball 4. Runners on first and second now. And it's Michael Kadire, a 7 in play 45, in play 45 versus a right-hander. It's a line drive caught by the second baseman Goins. And that's the end of the 8.5 innings of play. We go to the top of the bottom of the 9th. The bottom of the 9th, and it's going to be Colabello against Jurs Familia. That's a 4. That's ballpark. A 13. That's going to be Wheelhouse against a righty. It's 1-34. This game is tied. So let's look at this again. It's we rolled a 4. That's ballpark. A 13, and that's a right-handed batter, which Colabello is. That's a 1-55. So that falls into the Wheelhouse range. Now we're going to pull a FAC fast action card. And if it's a 1-34, if it's within that range, that ball's out of here. If not, it could be all the way up to 62. He's going to get on base. But a 1-34 would hurt big time because the Mets were winning this game decisively into the bottom of the 8th with 2 outs. I believe it was 2 outs. I got to double check that. But then they scored 3 in the 8th, especially the 2-run homer by Batista. Made it 3 runs that they scored in that bottom of the 8th inning. It's a 4-3 game here in the bottom of the 9th now. And let's see, this pitch is a Wheelhouse pitch, so this could be taken over the fence. And Colabello's a righty, so he'll be pulling it over John Mayberry's head. And that's a deep drive, a 32. And John Mayberry goes back to the track, to the wall, looks up, and it's out of here. Game tied. Bottom of the 9th. There goes Cologne's 4th win of the season, potential 4th win of the season. It has evaporated. Not happy as a Bartolo Colon fan, but definitely a good game here. So Familia blows the save. Russell Martin, a 9, a tough 56. That's going to be a line drive base hit for Martin. So Martin on with a single. It's a 4-4 game here. Just got tied with a Chris Colabello home run to left field over John Mayberry's head. And we're replaying 2015. Bartolo Colon's starts. Ezequiel Cabrera, lefty, batting against Familia, who just blew a save. And we rolled an 11. That's in play, a 60, in play 60 Takes us to a fly ball to left field for the first out. Kevin Pillar now. Pillar is 1 for 3 on the day. The 8th place batter, center fielder with A range. And let's see, an 8 is tough, 56. Tough 56. It's going to be a fly ball to right this time. Granderson is there. He puts it away. That's 2 down. And it's Ryan Goins. Goins is 0 for 3. That's a 5. That's patient. A 96. A patient 96. It's a fly ball to right. All right, so 4-4 tie. It was Chris Colabello who came up and connected for a deep drive over the left field wall. And let's look against righties. He had 8 home runs, so he has good power. And against lefties, he hit 7 home runs. That's 15 home runs and about 330 at bats. So I mean, if you put this, you kind of proportionally over the course of the season, he hit 25 to 30 home runs, or he would have hit. He has a great batting average, so it makes sense that, you know, he came through big. So it's going to be Travis d'Arnaud leading it off here now against Liam Hendricks. It's a 12. That's a wheelhouse. A wheelhouse 17. That's a deep drive against righty. And that's going to be Kevin Pillar goes to the track, to the wall, looks up, and that's gone. Travis d'Arnaud, back from a long injury, hits one out here in the top of the 10th inning and puts the Mets up by a score of 5-4. Next is Wilmer Flores. That's a 12. That's a wheelhouse 98. And that's going to take us into the out range. And that's going to be a fly ball deep left field. Colabello to the track and makes the catch. 1 away. John Mayberry, it's a 7, in play 21, It's a line drive base hit. Mayberry's on with a single. Mayberry doesn't have much speed, really. I mean, he has decent running speed, just not a base stealing type. Ruben Tejada, that's an 8. That's a tough 11 is a strikeout. So 2 outs. And it's Dilson Herrera. That's going to be a 6. A 6 is tough. A tough 36. It's a strikeout. Okay. So we're going to pull Familia here simply because he's already gone 4 outs and he's a closer. So we're not going to keep him in there. Let me see. I look at the actual box score for the Mets there. Colon, Alex Torres, and Logan Verrett. Familia didn't pitch, but I had to bring him in just because of the situation. So let's look at somebody who comes in here. We have Jose Reyes. Let's see who's going to be batting. It's Reyes. So there's 2 righties and a switch hitter. So let's see righties. Who do we have? We got Carlos Torres is somebody who comes in. Hansel Torres. I'm sorry. Hansel Robles also comes in. Those are the ones that kind of pitch the most for the Mets as relievers right now in this part of the season. So it's either or. And we're going to do Carlos Torres. To be fair, I'd rather have Robles, but to be fair, I wouldn't know that because I wouldn't know their end-of-the-year stats. Robles has a 3.67 ERA, and Carlos Torres is about a run higher. So what we're going to do is Carlos Torres is going to be an even number, and Hansel Robles is going to be an odd number. So Robles is going to come in, an odd number. And it's going to be Jose Reyes versus Hansel Robles. Okay, here's the pitch to Reyes. It's a 5-4 game in the bottom of the 10th. 7, that's a tough 86. And that's going to be a ground ball to short. Wilmer Flores throws out Reyes by half a step. Josh Donaldson, that's a 4. That's ballpark, a ballpark 68 from a righty. It's an in-play range. Thank God for that. An in-play range is 65, and that's going to be in the out section. And that's going to be a fly ball. Popped up high pop-up to first base side. It's in foul territory, and Duda makes a nice catch. That's using the modifier. You can find that on the Sideline Strategy Delphi forum. You can find that modifier if you look under outs, pop-ups, and line drives. Jose Bautista hit that 2-run homer in the 8th to bring the Blue Jays within 1. Is up again here with 2 outs, and that's a 7. That's a tough 16. And there he is swinging for the fences, and he swings through the ball. Strike 3. Game is over. The Mets win it. Mets win it by a score of 5-4. And the win is going to go to the man who blew the save, Jerry Familia. I call him Juris sometime, just for fun. Jerry, I think, is how they pronounce his name. And he gets the win, and the save is going to go to Robles. The loss goes to Liam Hendricks. He gave up that home run to who was it? What Met hit that home run? Let's look real quick. Left field. John Ray hits a medium line drive to single. It was Travis d'Arnaud hits a medium line drive for a home run. And the line score is going to be the Mets 5 runs, 12 hits, 1 error, 10 left on base. They have a tendency to leave a lot of players on base. Just have a lot of low batting averages. And then you have the Blue Jays, who had 4 runs on 8 hits, no errors, and 5 left on base. And Colon, again, a no decision. He stands at 3-6. He pitched a great game. I think he gave up a couple of runs here in this game. Let me look real quick here, see if he gave up any runs. He did. He gave up one. It was 2 outs. He pitched 7 2/3 innings, and he gave up a 2-out double, and then we pulled him. And it was, I can't remember the pitcher. Who? Let me see. I'll tell you who the pitcher was. Let's see. It was Logan Verrett, who came in and did not do a good job at all. He gave up the 2-run homer, the 2-run bomb to Bautista. And so we're going to put in the winning pitcher is Familia. Blown save is Familia. And the loss is going to go to Hendricks. And the save is going to go to Robles. And we're going to email ourselves the box score. And that's it. The next game, the next and final game of the month, of the 3rd month, what is that? April, May, June. He only has 4 starts. Cologne only has 4 starts in June. And it's going to be the Mets at the Brewers. And you can see that it's going to be Cologne versus Jimmy Nelson. So I'm going to set up that game. I'm going to play one more game. I'm playing the whole month of June today. I'd like to get through the whole month of July. We'll see what happens with that. It's Friday. I have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But it would be great. These games are taking me about 25 minutes, 30 minutes. So that's all she wrote. Next game is New York Mets versus the Brewers. Cologne versus Jimmy Nelson. So if you're around, check it out. Take care now.